Good afternoon, friends. This is Isaiah, and you are here. Hope everyone's having a wonderful afternoon. That you're just, having a day, just having one of those good old-fashioned days, where everything seems to come with an air of peace and ease. Subject I want to talk about today is the subject of childlike wonder. What is childlike wonder? We've all heard the expression used before, that children just seem to look at everything with such purity and such intensity as if they're seeing it for the first time. What does it mean to be an adult and to adopt that idea and to work towards nurturing and fostering such a mental construct as childlike wonder? For many of us as adults, we become desensitized over the years because of jobs, schooling, just overall responsibilities that we take on. From the time we turn 18 older, life seems to get a little more complex and complicated, and we definitely have a lot more stressors in our lives than what we did when we were in our younger years. What is it to attempt to rekindle the flame of childlike wonder as an adult? Well, I don't believe that there's any one way that we can do this, but everyone has different perspectives and different ways of thinking and perceiving information. So to say there's one universal way to achieve childlike wonder, I think, would be incorrect. But I think we have to give ourselves permission to play, to use our imagination, to pretend. It's what we're doing when we sit down to watch a movie, for example. We enjoy movies because we can sit down. It gives us a visual focal point, a place to rest our attention and our energy. And for a very brief time when we're engaged in that movie, we become immersed in it. We become a character in the dialogue that's playing out before us. So I think as adults, and nowadays kids are even starting to do that at a younger age, we're taking away activity and replacing it with just a visual stimuli, a mental stimuli. But for adults, many of us, that's the only way that we would in turn play. And I think that if we do things throughout our day with a spirit of joy, just a natural innate spirit of peace that children often seem to bring without much effort, I think that we can go back to finding that blissful state of childlike wonder. I mean, we rarely experience it in its purest form as adults, but we can still experience it as adults. For instance, if you get to travel or you see something that you've never seen before, we'll find ourselves kind of awestruck, like we were when we were children, speechless in the moment, because our mind, our subconscious mind, has no way of comparing that to any other experience we've ever had in our lives. Therefore, it has to receive new information on the fly and attempt to process it. And when our brains are doing that, it leaves us in a state of awe and wonder. Children naturally experience that more often because they are little tiny, young, developing humans coming into adulthood. And we're seeing them in the process of programming and training their little minds and their little brains through the vehicle of experience. And children typically have a natural ability to be more creative with their imaginations because they don't have past experience blocking them and telling them that certain things are impossible. For a child, when they're using their imagination, that's their little brain's way of attempting to connect the dots, so to speak, because it has no experience to compare with what it's seeing in that exact moment in time. So for us to have and to refoster childlike wonder in our lives, I believe that as adults we need to do things that are outside of our norm, that's safe to do. We don't want to do anything that's going to jeopardize our lives or potentially jeopardize a situation or a circumstance that we may need to have in our life, like a job or something, some sort of responsibility we have to do. But if we can find a way to perceive the world around us, and like that of a child, like, for instance, to practice something that you're really familiar with. Practice on something like a tree, for instance. Sit down and look at a tree. I'm doing it right now. There's a tree right outside this window. Look at the tree and recognize and appreciate the fact that, yes, I'm looking at a tree, but try to look at it as if you don't know what it is. Attempt to perceive it free of any kind of labels or past experience that you've had with trees in your life. And just look at it without labeling or identifying or defining it or comparing it to anything else. And just take in the tree in its purest form. And you can do this with anything. You can do this with any object in your home. You can sit down and focus on something and attempt to look at it without a label, or look at it without past experience telling you what it is and defining it or breaking it down into some logical, finite little point. I think if we can make it a habit of doing this, that we'll find that our minds start to rewire themselves in such a way that we can just appreciate and experience the moment as it is and as we are perceiving it, free of any other mental noise that may carry on and dampen us from that wonder. I think it's just like anything else, everything that we do, the way we choose to perceive the world and come to conclusions is all on us. We get to determine how we translate information that we consume through our five senses. We can do anything that we want. I used on my thumbnail for this video the little Baby Yoda meme thing that's going around right now. It's really popular. I genuinely love Baby Yoda, I think, like everybody else on the face of this planet. But I used it because I believe it's so popular right now. The reason I think that the Baby Yoda is doing its thing and everybody's just spreading it like wildfire across social media is because I think that when we look at it and we see the innocence of the Baby Yoda and we see just this small little being full of joy and wonder, there is excuse me for sniffing too much, there is a part of us subconsciously deep down inside that somehow remembers what it's like to be in that state, to be in that splendor of just everything's a new, fresh, vibrant experience. And it's because we relate to this on a subconscious level that images like Baby Yoda, we're attracted to them. They appeal to us because it brings back memories of something that we feel like we've lost. As cheesy as this sounds, I guess everybody has a little Baby Yoda inside of them, yearning to come back out. I was joking about that with my wife last night. We was talking about this video and how I was going to discuss it, and I told her I was going to say that I feel like everybody's just got a little Baby Yoda inside of them that wants to come out and play. If you're giving yourself enough balance and enough time and for rest and different things throughout the week, and enough time to do the things that excite your soul, this feeling that I'm talking about, this childlike wonder, it just kind of comes back naturally. It's a byproduct of peace in your mind. I always say at the end of our videos here, have much peace in your mind, because it can be just a storm of chaos and noise. And I think that if we learn to silence that, if only for brief moments throughout the day, then the byproduct of that, of continuing to do that day in and day out, becomes just a state, living in a state of awe and wonder, just sheer joy and appreciation for being in the moment, for being able to be here. Well, I think that's about all I've got on this subject today, friends. What do you think childlike wonder is? As always, I'm going to encourage you to comment below. Teach me something. What is childlike wonder from your perspective? I'd be most interested in hearing what you have to say on the topic. And I hope this video has served you in some way, or if you know someone that it could help, just go ahead and share it and pass it along, and let's get some of this information out into the world. Let's transition into a life that we can all appreciate and enjoy, and let's work together, spreading something other than negativity around this planet. If you haven't done it already, please like and subscribe to my channel. And you can also follow along on Instagram at youarehere334. Well, until next time, my friends, I hope that you have much peace in your mind, much love in your heart, much balance in your soul. Until next time.